Hi everyone, this is Dragon GGY. This is the module review update for the Somniloquium Serenum patch. I just returned from the holiday, so it's a little bit late, but this should be pretty fast, so let's get right in. For the new operator module, we have the Lord Y for Togawa Sakiko. The extensive analysis was in her operator hindsight video, so this will be a quick recap. This is a damage quality plus quantity upgrade. The improvement to her skill 3 base damage is 59.2%, which is outrageous. Out of all the Lord operators, she benefits from the Y base effect the best, being able to expand her range with her own skill and defection range share mechanic. The base effect plus the attribute gives 19 attack speed, which increases the attack count of skill 3 from 22 to 26. Removing the range attack penalty scale is also a huge part to the offer. For the damage quality aspect, defense ignore from 30% doubled to 60%, resistance ignore from 20% to 30%. And as a reference, she deals 140% more damage to an enemy at 2000 defense and 50 resistance. That will also apply to all her teammates as well. Overall, a stat stake module for a damage dealer, which is certainly welcomed, definitely one of the most standout modules out of all the recent ones. Next, we have Blaze Y. This is a mostly survival or even function-oriented module. It provides 2 instances of 8 or 9 second immortality depending on potential. It isn't tied to skills or warm-ups, which is like its only advantage. But realistically, it really doesn't have much applications. It's not cost-effective, especially when available choices are more than abundant nowadays. And yes, it does have a damage quality update pack with it, but it's also pretty pointless. Here's a comparison between X and Y, and yeah, X wins out 100%. Even though Blaze has been pretty quiet from the AFK meta ever since RPNs, as a selectable operator for the new players, I think Module X was still an important upgrade, holding up the last gen standard for AFK laneholder skills. In comparison, what Module Y offers is just inconsequential to most. She's gonna be fine with Module X. Next, we have Virtuosa Y. This module buffs the same talent 2 as the last one, and you may be wondering how different it is from Module X. So first, it brings flexibility to her support aspect. The Necrosis bonus is now active for the entire map instead of limited to her range only. Don't forget, the effect is also boosted by her skill 3. The extra E damage for enemies in Necrosis Burst is dealt as an additional instance of damage, so that may come up useful against damage-based enemies. Again, effective as long as she's on the field. Damage-wise, she deals higher total E damage from 1 Necrosis Burst. That's 30% more than the base, 24% more when compared to Module X, and with skill 3 that number goes up to 61.6% and 43.6% respectively. So what's not as good? It has a much lower efficiency for causing burst when compared to X. She can't reliably burst enemies with 1 skill 1 stack and takes 2 to 3 more ticks to trigger burst on elite and boss enemies in skill 3. The elemental fragile during skill 3 was 12.5% for Module X and only 10% for Module Y as well. So 2 of Virtuosa's major applications, 1 AFK with skill 1 and 2 working with a primal caster with skill 3 are both not working as good with Module Y than Module X. The newer Module Y is better in buff scenarios where gap between the 2 modules' burst efficiency can be filled, but then we don't use Virtuosa in buff environments that much. In summary, Module X for the daily skill 1 AFK and when working in the elemental 1+1 combo with skill 3. Module Y for higher damage and damage instance from herself and when supporting Necrosis damage pieces scattered around the map, which is a questionable application. Same goes for the usage in buff environments, so with all things considered, I would still advocate Module X more. Right, that's all for this quick update. Catch you all in the next video then. Bye bye.